dude is zero right now. You got an air
I'm
mattress.
I'm so blind.
Oh hell
I
yeah!
get away with it.
Let me put my glasses under my sunglasses.
Cause I can't see shit.
You kids and your words on your screens.
Trying to read here. So what's up? So look like this. You can see it. It's whatever. If I wasn't trying to read shit for the next hour, probably wouldn't want to put them on. But it's like I'm blind as fuck. I'd be like, what
does this say?
I'll do it. I'll do without. We'll do that for a little bit.
Right.
See if I can squint. I'll just do like, oh yeah, I know what I'll do. I'm trying to read comments. Because the only thing I'm trying to read is comments.
Oh.
Right. So I'm gonna.
Matt, the problem again here just seems to be that you are trying to read in general. Like this is causing chaos.
Yeah, reading is pretty gay.
It is.
Yeah, I just zoom in really far, and then we're good. So I can't figure out what's going on. Hold on, I got it. We're getting there. Don't even worry about it. So yeah.
See,
what's going on with me?
What's going on with you?
What's going on with me is I can't get the fucking thing to see. Sad. I'm blind as a fucking bat.
Yes, you are. Hello, everyone. Cracks a bubbly water. I'll be cracking a bubbly beer in a moment.
There we go. We're good.
Yeah.
I got this shit zoomed in.
Enhance
it. Yeah, let's go. We're good. We're rolling here. Live, I was just talking shit. No, I was giving Max the rundown on the whole the sitch.
What's the sitch?
The sitch is I don't have my wife and kids that left me.
Yeah, sure.
And I'm meeting back up with them in a week's time.
Yes.
Yeah, because I signed the closing papers for the house on Monday. I finished my last day of work on Wednesday, and then right after work on Wednesday, I'm heading out. And I'm leaving the state in my rear view. That's what I'm doing.
Word.
So yeah, that'll be so then next Friday is when the buyers are signing, and then I'll be $118,000 richer.
Oh fuck yeah!
It's until I go double it at the casino.
Or you could get 118,000 tacos from Del Taco.
I could do that.
That's almost a lifetime supply.
Almost. I mean, it's if you try to eat all of it in one sitting, it will certainly last you the rest of your life.
Dude, I could eat half that one sitting. No
Probably, yeah. You are Puerto Rican or something.
Yeah. It's the food of my people, putos.
Yeah. Hey.
Okay, if you had only one taco per day, it'd be 326 or 323 years of tacos per day.
It's
one taco per day. But no.
What about 3 tacos per day, at least?
Yeah, that's where I was going. I was like, you need 3 tacos a day.
This fucking guy.
This fucking guy.
Matt's finally hit the divorced dad vibe.
Oh hell yeah.
That's 108 years supply of tacos at 3 tacos per day.
That's doable with a couple organ transplants and some adrenochrome. You could pull that off.
So, Chad, what are we talking about tonight? What's going on?
So, we're going to be talking about Hunter Biden getting found guilty on criminal charges, which I'm sure will segue into Trump somehow. We were going to cover the petrodollar agreement between the Saudi Arabia and the United States not being renewed. This is very interesting, and what effect that'll have on the local trout population. I'm very concerned about that. And for those of us who don't know, the Russian Navy is currently, or I guess they sailed past the Florida coast very closely and on their way to Havana, and they are going to be conducting naval exercises off the coast of Florida and in the Gulf of Mexico because, I don't know if you guys noticed, they announced Black Ops 6 was coming out. So this is all an elaborate marketing scheme.
100%.
Which I have already pre-ordered the game because of it. So, Putin, you won. I'm kidding.
Wait, are they really on Black Ops 6?
Yeah, they're on 6 now. I also would like to stay on the record. I did not pre-order Black Ops 6. That did not happen.
Sure you did.
I swear, sir. I swear. All right, so we're going to play the intro and get into it. And, yeah. Let's go. Hello, everyone, and welcome to The Altar, episode 143. I titled this Jailection 2024, but this is going to be an episode of many topics. So I guess we can start with, the topic title. Hunter Biden was found guilty on several gun crime charges because his Second Amendment rights were clearly being infringed on by the federal government. All because he wanted to possess a firearm while on crack cocaine, which is his God-given right.
I'm gonna be dead ass with you. Hunter Biden, definitely an ANCAP.
Definitely an ANCAP, absolutely honorary ANCAP.
Nothing respect. Drink. I'm gonna drink to that guy.
Yeah,
now.
that's my president right there.
Cheers, I'll drink to that, bro.
Yo, USS deadass. I would vote for Hunter Biden because he's the true ANCAP ideals. Drugs,
he's
women.
living the reality, right?
Political
Which is
favors.
just like, governments are gangs, and they will pay you in order to.
That's the praxis right there, baby.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, it's just praxis, right? Like, why aren't we getting paid for this shit?
Exactly. This is
Because our
bullshit.
father's not.
Where's my
vice president or
fucking Where's my
president.
crack pipe? That's it. I'm fucking start smoking crack right now.
You know, honestly, the crack addiction allows for a level of hustle that's just unheard of.
Yeah, it also it humbles him enough where it keeps him in spiritual range of the common man. Like he's not so above it all.
It balances you where I need to get more crack, so I gotta make money. But also you're constantly poor because you're always spending all your money on crack.
When Hunter Biden smokes, do you think he hears the Popeyes whistle go off in his head? He's like
100%. I can imagine. I bet I can see it. I can see that.
The pictures of him in the immersion tank.
Yeah.
Where he's
yeah.
LED lights and
fucking White Claw.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah,
fucking,
with a White Claw.
He's just in autism heaven.
Yeah.
That man is living White Boy Summer before White Boy Summer it was really started. He helped found it.
Real record.
Well, it was like Marvin Hermeyer with Carol Dozer, right?
Mm-hmm.
He went off a little early. And then Hunter Biden's been channeling this vibe. He's like, where can I go with this?
Where can I go with this? He could still get a bulldozer. Could happen.
So question. Because I haven't been keeping up because obviously I'm a busy guy, being a divorced dad and all.
Of course.
Yeah, but that's why I got myself some new shades because of it.
The very metro. I figured you were gonna have a bisexual phase.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, yeah, Yimmer's on. He should be here in 30 minutes.
Oh, word. Okay.
Or something like that. Yeah, I'm gonna give it to him. But no,
Yeah,
my question is,
where's my boy? There's a bartender at one of the local joints around me that looks impeccably like Yimra.
Is it Femra?
And
Have we found Femra?
Well, I don't know if he's secretly moved to where I live.
technically,
and,
with enough makeup,
we make eye
Yimmer could be
contact
Femra.
occasionally, and he I feel like if it was actually Yimra, he would say something. But
Yeah, no, but
There's an Italian cook guy on Facebook in the most serial killer-esque fucking kitchen that I swear to God is Yimra.
maybe it is.
Yeah, I gotta find that video. I gotta find those videos and send it to him.
That's
No, my question, we're trying to be related to the topic here, is so what have the conservatives been saying about the Hunter Biden verdict? That he should be cleared of all charges because it's infringement of the Second Amendment, right?
No, of course. In this instance, they are saying that the law is correct, that he should be arrested and prosecuted for his crimes.
Oh my God.
Yeah, of course. Of course.
I mean, honestly, I haven't seen. I don't read media per se, so I don't know what the takes are. Let me go to the Daily Wire and see what Ben Shapiro has to say about anything.
We need Ben Shapiro's opinion on this.
Yeah, you're gonna have to read that to me.
Okay, I'm gonna search Hunter and see what the top result is. Maybe we should screen share this. I don't know.
You can just read the headline.
Okay. Let's give a fair shake here on what conservatives are saying about this, and especially Ben Shapiro, which would be the run of the mill
Word.
conservative at this point. Okay, so I'm sharing a screen. Are you sharing it?
No, I'm sharing it. Is live.
Okay. So I just shared Hunter, or I just searched Hunter, and it says Trump advisor feels bad for Hunter Biden. His dad made him the bag man, which honestly, like, I kind of agree with. Like, his dad is the bad dude. It's not Hunter in this situation. Like,
Do not.
I like the theory
Uh,
that Hunter is secretly doing this in order to draw attention to his family and expose what they're doing behind the scenes.
you know, he could be a national hero. He could deserve a spot on Mount Rushmore if he plays this right.
Exactly. Yeah.
Now, I do want to know the age of all the girls in the laptop pictures, right? Because then, you know, it could be on the margin, a couple of them. But if it's like decidedly under, you're like, ah, man, you're going a little too deep here.
Well, unfortunately, that's
If you're
just
trying to
Excuse me,
do the
what-
undercover play. Like,
What's age of consent in Ancapistan? Let's get Connor. Let's get Connor back on.
Oh,
and ask him
Jesus.
about it.
Yeah, that'll be good. I think he's too busy posting under pictures of obese black women with racial fetishes.
Bro, that shit was so funny.
Yeah. It just seems like every couple of months, like another fucking like trad retard gets fucking exposed with some weird porn shit.
Couldn't be me.
Couldn't be me.
That's
Okay,
what's like. That's like so funny. Like, how do you get caught? How do you get caught being like that fucking stupid on Tumblr? Like,
Because-
people can, if you post it, it's gonna be found.
I remember specifically like this chick was going around like harassing a bunch of people, and like people went to her blog and they had these like ridiculous pictures, and under some of them Connor was like, "You're so hot."
Yeah, I saw the screencast. They put that in the group chat. It's
I
that's
remember
what
like
it was saying.
seeing that at the time, and I'm just like, well, I'm sure other people will see this, and I'm sure we'll hear about this eventually, but I'm
What
just
is
gonna
it?
go
I'm like, yeah,
scrub my
what's-
eyeballs.
The 23-year-old virgin autist
Yeah.
is commenting on a black chick's photos. Yeah, or like big black, whatever,
Well,
saying shit, being horny as fuck online.
got
Like,
it.
bro,
Just in the open, just fucking out there, like just no
The- dude,
discretion,
the-
no shame.
the next step is he's gonna be commenting on porn videos.
Yeah, that's next. Like serious commenting,
If he hasn't already started.
like doing red letter media levels of like reviews on porn. That's what's next for him.
Death Shalata makes a great point. He's like, we can't ignore the god awful whoremongering and possible abuse of a family member. Other than that, Hunter Biden is America's Princess Di. And you know,
Yeah,
I 100%,
yeah,
100%.
that's true,
dude,
that's true.
100%. 100% agree with that. I'm
Oh,
not even
man.
denying. Yeah, but it's funny because I gotta look out because like because we like to be consistent
Sure.
here on the show
Of course.
and in life, be as
Life.
consistent as possible.
Of course, yeah.
But like, if you're right wing and you're gonna fucking say that shall not be infringed, like all the time, and then be excited that he got like found guilty of gun charges.
Yeah, like where's your
Go
consistency?
fuck yourself, dude.
Exactly. Yeah. Also, I mean, he's also being like, isn't some of the other charges? So originally he was also being investigated, I believe, for tax evasion, but like the DOJ played defense until the statute ran out on like the taxes charge. And then when it ran out, the DOJ was like, oh yeah, whatever, go do it. Oh no, sorry, you ran out of time. I guess you can't do anything. So he successfully got away with tax evasion, I believe. So that's kind of based. Again, and
Oh,
Cap
yeah.
Hero, like,
Fucking king. Because what were the other charges they actually got him for? So it was gun charges.
it was all basically like gun charges and related to that because he lied on the 4473 and said he was not a crackhead. And in fact, he was. And then was also found with crack and the gun by cops
okay.
at one
Well,
point.
let's
no, well,
hold on.
He threw the gun in the trash can,
Yeah.
and somebody reported that he threw a gun away in a dumpster.
But
and
was he
then-
high on crack when he signed out that 4473?
It doesn't matter if he's high on crack or not. If he's regularly using crack cocaine, technically,
Okay. Can they prove that he
Which
was
is
regularly
crazy because
using?
it's like,
Did they?
if you use alcohol regularly, you're not disbarred
Yeah.
from owning firearms.
that's
right?
because alcohol isn't a federal scheduled drug. That's why. Like,
Oh,
it,
yeah.
or it's not Schedule 1 at least. Like, that's the thing. Like, it's dumb as shit, but when I worked in a gun store, I had to like ask people about that. So another example, if you have a medical marijuana card, like a federally recognized medical marijuana card and you try to fill out a 4473, you get denied because the fact that you have a medical marijuana card means that you have a prescription for a Schedule 1 substance and are therefore ineligible to own or possess firearms.
Ridiculous.
Ridiculous.
I'm trying to think of this other shit. Because what the fuck was... Because the typical left and right bullshit, right, is that... Like, well, let's go right. Like, you know, like the shit they're like when Trump, like, well, Trump's still going to fucking trial, as far as I know, right?
Yeah.
But it's like, well, Biden did this, Biden did that. Like, okay, well, first of all, is it a real crime? And two, what do you say? So you're saying that Trump, and you're saying this is that Trump should be let go. Well, the argument to me you're making is that Trump should be jailed with Biden. And that's not what most of these people are saying.
That would be fantastic. They should both have to. I mean, no, it wouldn't work because Hunter's charges are federal and Trump's are like state and just New York. But that would be, if they could share a cell, that'd be fantastic.
They made Trump's charges federal by saying that it was in relation to an election fraud crime.
Oh, okay.
That's
so
why
they
it's a
could share a
felony.
cell. Fantastic. Excellent.
No, that's why it's a felony charge. Otherwise, it'd just be misdemeanor, and the statute of limitations would have expired on all of the falsifying business records things. But they said it was in pursuit of some unnamed federal crime, which was like election related or some shit like that.
Yeah.
So
interesting.
Yeah, no, the Trump case, as soon as he gets it to like I mean, there's no way it gets past the Supreme Court, but like hopefully like some appellate court of the federal judiciary will say like,
we'll see.
Like so many of his constitutional rights were violated. He couldn't even bring the commissioner of the FEC, the Federal Elections Commission, to come up and say like, hey, we haven't investigated Trump for any federal crime at all related to this. So how can you prosecute him related to a federal crime and elevate these misdemeanors to felonies on a state level based on the fact that he violated a federal law when he's never been convicted and we've never even investigated them for that? It's
magic.
They expunging witnesses were denied, testimony, there was exculpatory evidence is what they call it, right? Exculpatory evidence was removed from court. The judge said that you don't have to unanimously convict him on any one count. As long as you find him guilty on one count, any one juror will find him guilty of all counts.
What the hell does that mean? That's ridiculous.
Yeah, so there were 34 charges against him, and the judge said, hey, if you find him guilty, any one juror finds him guilty on one, at least as long as one juror finds, or as long as each juror finds at least one of these 34 counts as guilty, then it doesn't have to be unanimous. We'll convict him on all counts.
Wow,
which is totally a due process violation.
That's ridiculous. Also, what was I going to say? Oh, so I was watching some CNN coverage of it at one point, and like the defense was cross-examining Cohen, and like he kind of admitted on the stand that he actually may not have like told the truth about a phone call he supposedly had with Trump's bodyguard and Trump, that it may have just been his bodyguard and he did not talk to Trump. And like I just remember Anderson Cooper watching it being, wow, I've never watched a defendant get dog walked into lying on the stand like that before. That was a flawless execution. And like, I don't remember the name of the other pundit they had on CNN, but it was like, dude, they chopped his knees out. Like, what?
Well, okay. It reminded me of, did you ever watch Chernobyl, the series on HBO?
Several times. Fantastic.
Matt? No, I've not.
Matt doesn't watch TV. He just watches Bluey over and over.
Well, first of all, fuck you. And
also fuck you, Ben, because that's true. And do. Fuck you. All right, continue. Go on, Ben. Next.
But like the last episode, I'm pretty sure it's the last episode is the trial, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh. No spoilers.
And in the trial,
Voldemort kills Chernobyl with Rosebud.
but in the trial, like Legasov, who's the chief like expert witness for the prosecution, basically explains that like Dyatlov didn't do anything wrong. He was just following what he knew was the right procedure to do. It's the flaw in the design of the Soviet nuclear reactors that was the result of the explosion.
Mhm.
And at a certain point, like you look at but it was a show trial, right? Like they had to have a trial to convict Dyatlov and say, hey, he's to blame
Exactly.
for the disaster, and it's not the Soviet government's fault, and it's not our engineering fault, or it's not because we're cheap and we don't want containment buildings or to separate our control rods from our fuel rods or anything like that. That would make sense if you're a nuclear engineer, but it's because Dyatlov just like was able to basically create a nuclear bomb out of one of our reactors. And that was the trial, right? It was like, oh, there's all this evidence that says like, hey, like this person fucked up, like they did a bad thing, but they're doing exactly what they've been told to do by their legal advice, and that's the rules of the game that's been in existence for maybe 100 years, right? When it comes to business records and all this stuff like that. But we're making an example out of this guy. Like this is a Soviet show trial at this point.
We got Death Toledo's like, honestly, how's the DNC admitting to fortifying the election, not interfering, but Trump finessing his finances is? Media,
Trump is just
one.
that powerful. That's how.
Yeah. Because, well, you know what? The joke is because Trump did it better.
Exactly.
That's why.
So we should. Well, I guess I was going to try.
Here's the thing. Here's the fucking election interference, right? From like in 2016, DNC admitted to the Pied Piper strategy, right? Of let's elevate Trump because there's no fucking way he'd win, right? So they made sure to pump money and ads promoting him and shit, so that he'd be most popular, get all the votes, and then Hillary would fucking wipe his ass out in a landslide. And then look what happened.
Oops.
So they're fucking eating shit and trying to figure out a way. And then if we want to get really fucking crazy,
sunglasses came down. Hang on.
They decided they needed a fucking pandemic. That was the only way they were taking Trump down.
You mean the plandemic?
So yes, goddamn right. So they did this plandemic, right? They got the plandemic in order to, because this is the only way we're gonna stop this motherfucker, because he's gonna be saying the dumbest shit, and we're gonna be opposite him. We gotta make this up. They paid Fauci to then pay Wuhan. Or Wuhan. Well, I don't fucking care. I'm an American.
Wu-Tang.
Right? Pay Wu-Tang Clan, bitch. Nothing to fuck with. And pay Wu-Tang to get that fucking virus made up just in time for the election season. And then Trump being stupid as shit. And they're like, yeah, we're gonna have to trust those vaccines. And as soon as Biden was in, it's like, the vaccines actually looking pretty good, even though they're not tested. They're pretty good.
That was very like American Patriots 1776-esque, I have to say. That was well done.
Yeah, thank you.
Can I just appreciate for a moment? I've got my cat and my dog over each shoulder.
Oh, perfect.
One's white, one's black. It's like my scruples.
Exactly, but they're separated as they should be.
Yes. What, as far as like, you made me trigger this question in my own mind as you were ranting, which is, when right wingers have schizophrenia and like ascribe everything to like a singular cause that is the root of all evil, and just like infinitely rant about something, like it's obviously schizophrenia to most people. And then when left wingers do it about other stuff, it's just not.
Because it's like the most safe entry level, like, hey man, the CIA does bad things. Like, yeah, dude, they do. And it's like, and they do it because corporations make them because money is bad. And it's like, all right, can we just maybe dial this back a little bit? You fucking simpleton.
That's why I hate, like, when
Yeah,
fucking,
I'm sure. ExxonMobil's the root of all evil.
Of
right?
course,
Like-
yeah. It's the real devil
they club
here
seals.
is Jeff Bezos and the Koch brothers. That's the real problem.
Right. If we just got rid of Elon Musk,
We just
the
got rid
world
of
would be a
Elon Musk.
utopia.
Twitter
If
would
we
go
just
back
got
to
rid of that
normal.
one billionaire.
So fucking funny. I like how, because I'll hear people talk about, like, corporations and shit in, like, real life. Like, yeah, man, it's like those big corporations don't give a fuck about. Like, no, they don't say. I'm sorry. Like, rephrase this. They don't say big corporations. They mean it, and I'm, a little autistic about it. So they talk about, like, yeah, corporations are the problem with, like, in America, and that's just a paraphrase. And I go, like, so you're telling me, like, this fucking mechanic shop that's been run by, like, a family for like 50 years, and it's like 2 people run it, like, they're the part of the problem? Well, no, I meant, like, big corporations. I'm like, how big are we talking? Like, I'm getting, like, really into it. Like, how big of a corporation would you need to do? Like, oh, it's like the ones that, like, lobby, right? That lobby. Like, okay. So the problem actually isn't these fucking big corporations, it's that their ability to pay politicians. How do you fucking solve that? Well, you just stop lobbying. Okay, motherfucker. Bear with me for a second. So you're gonna vote to get these people in to stop lobbying that are getting paid by lobbyists. What the fuck are you thinking to do? Get money or listen to your dumbass?
Well, we'll just make them vote how we want. If we just vote really hard, they'll have to do what we want.
Yeah, like the fucking people who said, yeah, we're just gonna bully Biden to be more of a leftist.
How's that going, guys?
Yeah.
Did you
He
push him
doesn't
left?
even know.
Are you winning yet,
He doesn't
kids?
even know he's the fucking president right now. That fucking guy.
You know what the pier in Gaza has been used for?
Infiltrating
It's not
troops?
been used zero. It's been used zero for delivering aid to the Palestinians living in Gaza. It's been used 100% for special forces and drone operators to provide logistic support for IDF forces so they could kill upwards of 200 people in order to rescue 4 hostages. I don't know if you saw this story.
I did see it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I did not.
Oh, Israel.
Israel.
Speaking
Israel.
of, it's a good segue. Speaking of the Middle East, that will bring us to our next topic with Saudi Arabia. So, Saudi Arabia and the United States have had an agreement for the past 50 years that Saudi Arabia would exclusively trade oil in U.S. dollars. This is known as the petrodollar. That is the reserve currency of the entire fucking world. Excuse me. And it is the reason why United States dollars are so valuable, whatever, fiat currency. But that agreement, as of Sunday, June 9th, is no longer in effect. It was not renewed. Negotiations did not go anywhere. So, as of right now, the protections of the petrodollar are gone.
Wasn't that some shit that Nixon, like, hooked up? Was that a Nixon era thing?
I think so. Let me look that up. Jamie, look that up.
Well, yeah, there was the Bretton Woods Agreement, which was like a fixed exchange rate between the British pound and the franc, and the US dollar after World War II. And that kind of decayed down after the Vietnam War. Basically, France called our bluff because, like, France was like, wait a minute, you can't just turn, like, Vietnam into an American colony after we failed to, like, maintain it as a French colony. And so the French were like, also, you're going to the fucking moon and like fighting this land war in Asia. Could we possibly get our gold back from the reserves?
Nope.
Out in Fort Knox? And Nixon was like, no, that's not possible right now. And so he suspended temporarily the gold exchange, and a few months later, I think there was this agreement to only trade oil from the OPEC nations in dollars, and this was pre the overthrow of the Shah in Iran, and I guess Iraq we were still backing at that point, right? I don't know if the Baathists were in charge at that point, but like obviously we had the Saudis on board. But if you get Saudi Arabia and Iran on the same page about like, hey, you're going to use our dollars to trade oil to Japan and China and Australia and I mean, look at the major economies, right? It's like India. If who are the people who really need to import oil? It's that to sustain their economies, right? It's Japan and China and
India.
Korea and India. They have no domestic oil production,
Mm-hmm.
and so like the U.S., we produce more oil than we consume. Like ultimately, if oil went upside down, we'd be fine. We'd be living. I mean, there's a cruel irony to the fact that like we could live like Saudi princes or Norwegians, right? Like with like free state benefits for everything.
We just
If
don't.
our politicians were moderately competent about shit, like we could have a Norwegian petro state. But we don't because
Yeah,
we have to use the Middle East for shit,
of
and
course.
it's our way to control Europe and Asia and everything. So, did you look that up, Jamie? I mean,
Yeah,
Ben?
so it was passed in 1973 under Nixon. So
All right, so I
Okay,
was
that's
right.
what I thought because it was 72 was when the gold standard got temporarily suspended
correct, yeah.
by Nixon. And actually, I was looking through my Tumblr blog and I looked through. I had a post about how I was in a political science class, and the professor was like on the campaign for Bernie Sanders back then, and he had a textbook, and I didn't read the textbook at all. But like in the middle of class, like he's like, "Oh, the dissolution of unions by Nixon is why we don't have wages keeping pace with production." And I was like, "What about the gold standard? Didn't Nixon suspend the gold standard that we had since Roosevelt?" And he's like, "Oh, I've never heard of that." And I literally walked out of class because I was like, "How do you call yourself a political science professor? You've never heard of this like
Yo,
most
bro.
important thing that happened to monetary policy in the last 100 years?"
I
Like,
just had like that Creed reference in my head. It's like, oh, I never heard the gold standard. And he's the teacher. It's like, oh, now I'm 6 feet from the edge and I'm thinking. That's it. That's all I got.
Matt, you're just like, man, I got this big empty kitchen to yell in. I'm just going to
No
be
one-
loud as fuck.
King Kong ain't got shit on me. That's it. That's all I got.
The one night of freedom.
Yeah, this is it. Because next Thursday I'm probably not gonna be here because I'll be fucking like probably sleeping off the drive.
Fair enough.
My wife's gonna fucking text me tomorrow and be like, "Yeah, I got like an audio alert on the Nest camera. What the fuck was that? Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it.
Don't
Boys'
worry
night.
about it."
Boys' night.
It'd be
gonna
funny
be okay,
if that,
kitten.
in like 2 seconds, like my buddy
Okay.
Parker rolled over. It was like,
Yay.
"I heard you singing Creed. We drinking? What's going on?"
Yeah. Speaking,
no,
so
that's the song I listened to when I sit underneath my Harbor Freight jack stand.
What the fuck? What the fuck is a desk pop?
a desk pop. When you
Yeah.
accidentally negligent discharge your firearm into your desk.
Yeah, good thing, dude. I'm in the fucking.
They already
kitchen.
did the inspection. Just do
do a
little
counter pop.
kitchen
Just a little counter pop.
Yeah. Well, my fucking I'm not. No, I'm not. This is the counter. I'm not doing a counter pop.
Do the counter pop.
Not this. No, I'm not. No, fuck you.
Is the contract closed for your house? Like, what are they going to do about it?
Yeah, dude. Counter pop and be fucking doing wood filler tomorrow morning. No, I don't need that.
Come on. You're Mexican. You get it done in like 10 minutes.
That is a solid point.
And you can do it drunk because your family's not there. Like, it's a win-win.
A little fucking ND.
It's like paying yourself to do a job.
Should. Well, fucking no. So my inspection came through, and there was like shit, dude. This inspector out here, I'm fucking recommending to everybody. Even though I had to fix a couple things because of inspection. This fucking guy was super fucking thorough. Super thorough. Like, because I actually wanted the same guy to inspect the house when I was buying it, but he didn't have he didn't have an appointment time available. But he got fucking everything. Like, he noticed like the vent stack, because everyone's aware that you need a fucking stack to go out that's going out your roof for air so your shit flushes, right? Like, water goes down the sink, you need that air stack. Well, it was fucking cracked, like, and separated in the basement, like up in the fucking corner, and I never even noticed it. I'm like, it's had been like that for fucking ever. So I was like, oh fuck. I was like, yeah. So like the buyers wanted me like to fix that and shit, because like per the contract, like I said I'd fix up to like $1,000 worth of shit, and I'm at like 500 maybe, but that's it. So I had to pay 500 instead of 1,000 for that. But I was like, oh yeah, I'm like, dude, like I was looking at this fucking inspection report, like, oh, fuck, this guy is great. This guy is fucking awesome. So like everyone around here before I leave, I'm like, hey, you need a fucking home inspection. Hit this motherfucker, because the buyers that just had like they just made me. I just had to pay. That's what you want, all right? You want the fucking seller to pay. It's good shit. But yeah, so didn't have to pay much for that. I finally got so. If you guys are familiar that my initial buyer had to back out because they lost funding, or they actually decided they wanted a different house and try to make up some bullshit. I don't know, but I finally got the fucking earnest money today for it.
Nice.
Yeah, it's been like a fucking. I want to say it's been like a fucking month since that happened. I kept going like.
Actually, yeah, just about.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now I got an extra $1,000.
Hell yeah! You know what that means? 1,000 tacos.
At least I'm gonna go to Del Taco tonight after
Hell
this
yeah.
podcast.
You're gonna shit yourself inside out, baby.
Oh, just like right into the drywall. We'll never find the slug.
Hell yeah,
That's
brother.
True, because it is hollow point.
Correct.
So it should stop. But if I get the stud,
yeah. What is your roof, or your ceiling? I should say, is your ceiling attic lined with like insulation? Because it'll stop right in the insulation.
There you go.
Well, this is an older house. It's actually it's not drywall. It's like cement board.
Oh.
And it's double layer, like a 5, like, so it's like 1.5 inch total thickness, because they ran wires through it. That's how they heated the whole fucking house originally.
Interesting.
Right, which is expensive as shit.
Yeah, it is. That's like extremely.
Because whoever at some point way before me, they're like, yeah, fuck that. We're just gonna get an AC, like get AC up in this bitch. So they got the heat pump outside, whatever. So the only room, the computer, like the room I usually would stream from, that one is still heated like that, which isn't bad because it's only one little room, whatever. But yeah, like my neighbor up the hill, like his whole house is like that still. He doesn't have fucking like central air. So he's like, yeah, we don't run that shit because he's like, it's fucking. Like ridiculously expensive to fucking heat your house in winter. He's like, yeah, we just got like a fireplace, like a fucking stove and shit. We just blow up wood and fucking burn it. And then he's like, and then in the summertime, we just open the windows and have a nice fan going and a cool glass of lemonade.
In the parlor room with some white cake.
Yeah, pretty much. You got copper wire. Death Chaleta is gonna come. The fucking final walkthrough is gonna happen, and Death Chaleta is gonna be in this motherfucker 2 days prior, stealing the copper wire on my goddamn house.
Like, your house is like a fucking bridge in California.
Yeah. Or a fire hydrant.
No lighting because they stole the fucking copper.
Yeah. Awful.
So while we're kind of sort of tangentially talking about shit in the Middle East and declining American imperialism, we should probably talk about the Russian boats currently floating off the coast of Florida, menacing us menacingly.
Yes, we got new enemies.
We do.
The Russians.
Ironically enough, I actually started.
The new enemies are the old enemies.
I started replaying Modern Warfare 2 Remastered a couple of days ago, and I literally before this podcast I secured the Burger Town, so. We're good.
Oh yeah,
it's one of the greatest moments in video gaming,
dude. The Burger Town and the mission where you have to clear the White House before like they airstrike it, and you have to like pop green flares on the roof. The music is so fucking good, like,
dude. And like it was kind of like a, it was like plausibly, like
for the time, it was plausible,
This is a world that could happen and like some alternate reality, but it wasn't like conceivable that like Russians would really like paradrop off the East Coast.
Like over I-95.
Yeah,
So in the third one in the
But
beginning,
like I have gotten into arguments with my family where I'm like, you know what, the VDV would be it would be justified if Vladimir Putin said, "Hey, I'm a UN Security Council member, like with a veto vote, and the U.S. government is guilty of war crimes for killing millions of civilians across the Middle East, and I'm dropping the VDV in to arrest everybody in Washington."
oh boy,
And I've said like that's justified. I would completely support a Russian occupation of Washington D.C. And I wouldn't fight back against that. I would not retake the White House.
absolutely not.
It was fun in a video game, but I would not do it in real
Yeah,
life.
no, that's completely different. That's yeah.
But no, I legitimately almost got kicked out of family gathering for making this argument.
Oh hell yeah. That's how you know it's a good argument.
Hell yeah.
Saying that Vladimir Putin has committed way less war crimes than Bush or Obama. Maybe he's on par with Trump.
I'd say they're up there,
is
yeah.
like a normal world UNSC like leader, right? He commits an average number of war crimes. Like,
Average
he's not
number of war
exceptional.
crimes.
Good average.
He's pretty in the middle on the bell curve. He's pretty,
the typical amount.
yeah, what you'd expect, as one does.
Like Putin's gone into Georgia and the Crimea, right?
And Trump
like,
has
you could
campaigned in
argue about
Georgia,
that.
so like they both invaded the state for their own gains. Like it's whatever.
Yeah.
Right, like you wouldn't have any disagreements with Sherman, right? And he went into Georgia too,
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
right? So what are you, some Confederate apologist?
Putin was just he was marching to the sea. That's all he was doing.
Definitely. I wish Russians were as competent as we portray them in media.
That would be fun.
100%.
That would be fun. But alas, it is
Would it
not
be
to be.
fun?
We would. It would.
So that's cool. So what else is going on except for the war boats?
I don't know. Like, oh, so I guess Russia issued some like threat to France today. They were like, "Y'all better behave, or we're going to be in open conflict or something." It's just more saber rattling.
Bro, I used to post that in Tumblr like all the time. Like, France, watch your shit.
Exactly, man. I mean, if you got to threaten France at least once a day. It's very necessary.
I think it's like relevant to the cultural memory of people in the West because like we haven't been invaded and occupied the same way that Russia has in the last 2 centuries.
This is true.
So like we don't have like the same like cultural zeitgeist of fear resulting from war that Russia does. But Napoleon literally burnt St. Petersburg and Moscow to the ground. Okay. And then Hitler did the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
And this happened twice in the last 2 centuries. And like in living, I shouldn't say in living memory as much anymore because, it's 2024. But, somebody 80 years old, right, would have been born in 44 or something like that. So you'd have to be 100 years old to really remember shit like this. But wasn't there what was the Russian casualty, like civilian and military, for World War II?
Let me look this up. Summoning my Jamie powers. Russian casualties World War II.
And I don't think it's like
27 million people, 8.7 million
you.
military, and 19 million civilians. More than double civilians.
27 million, right?
27.
And so if you imagine, like, there's not a single living person in Russia who didn't have a relative die in World War II, okay? There's not a single living person in Russia who didn't have a relative die in World War II. That's not true for the US or the UK or even for France. And they got occupied by the Nazis. And like for them, like having France say, "Oh, we're sending military advisors to Ukraine to like invade and break up the US for the Russian Federation," or like German tank, Germany is like, "Oh yeah, we're sending German Leopard tanks to fight on the," like, and it's funny if you go on Wikipedia, like you can look up modern battles in Ukraine right now,
Mm-hmm.
and like you'll go to the landing page, which will be like World War II or the modern war for like Kharkov or for Chasiv Yar or Mariupol or whatever, because there is a World War II equivalent of every single one of those in which tens of thousands of Soviet soldiers died. And it's like, do you really think like Americans in fucking Texas still are like, remember the Alamo
Mm-hmm.
and shit like that 150 years ago about some shitty fort off the Rio Grande? And then you're gonna say to like the modern Russian people, like, oh yeah, like literally the German military was like marching all the way to the Volga and killing millions of people, in addition to your own government, but you mostly forget that. Which Putin has a like he said that in his own like the interview with Tucker. He was very subtle about it, but he was like, yeah, the Russians, the Soviets covered up like how much of those civilian casualties are related to mismanagement from the Soviet government.
Mismanagement.
But
So,
like legitimately, like we cannot in the West comprehend, like even in the UK, like they went through the Blitz, right? And they had bombs dropped overhead for years from the Luftwaffe. Even they can't comprehend really what the Russians went through in the last century, where like every single person who's grown up in the last century has grown up with a story of how devastating and horrific invasion from the West is, including France, including Germany, including the UK in the Crimean War, which goes back to 1850. So, like that's more recent than Napoleon. Uh, so I can't I like our hubris of just saying like, oh yeah, we don't understand where the Russians are coming from on this. Like, no, they might lose the first war, but they definitely win the second one because they aren't kidding around. Like they know this is live or die all the time.
how do you say kamikaze in Russian?
Uh,
Okay. Really quick.
Word.
Well, not really quick. We're gonna deviate. Because Death Jolena actually brought up that abortion pills are on the ballot again.
of
But
course
yeah,
they are.
apparently this. Did you see the Supreme Court ruling today?
No, what's up?
No, that the ruling preserves nationwide access to the to abortion medicate to the abortion medication mifepristone.
Oh, like Plan B?
Uh, yeah, that one. But like it was a narrow one. So like states are already preparing other litigation, and the political debate about the pill continues. Right. So basically, it's going to be because it's like whoever's in charge of the FDA
Mm-hmm.
kind of like will make that decision. And who appoints the fucking head of the FDA? Apparently, the president does. If
Oh yeah, it's
I
an executive
glimpsed at this.
agency, so it's appointed by the president.
Yeah. So, uh, so yeah, so it's like it's back on because I guess for this last year, 60% of abortions were from Plan B or like similar pills that have that shit. Um, which is interesting. Well, it's like the Supreme Court's like, yeah, we're gonna narrowly decide on this, so we don't get all the flack. It's like just vote harder and hope for the best.
I mean, honestly, that is the thing that Democrats don't recognize about the conservative Supreme Court, which is literally just pass a law that explicitly says the thing that you want it to say, and we'll respect it. Which has been the like written explicitly by the Supreme Court multiple times on this court on these topics. It's like, oh, if Congress passes a law, like we will generally defer to the plebiscite, right? But they don't. They just want like a Roe v. Wade type ruling that just like defines law for the next 50 years.
Until it gets rescinded, because when you get a right that is given to you from the government, like executive fiat like that, or legislative, excuse me, it can just get taken away when they feel like it. So, you know. But it is very useful as a sword of Damocles to hold over voters' heads and get them to the polls. Oh, they're going to threaten your abortion rights. Better get it out to the polls. Like, that's why they haven't tried to like codify abortion with an actual law. It's far more
Right,
useful.
the
otherwise.
Democrats could have done it like 5 times in the last 20 years, right?
Yeah, it's literally they want these political devices in place so they could use it to leverage dumbass people to vote for them. It's like, oh, well, like we weren't able to do it because of whatever, but hey, this time you vote for us. Which is funny, is that I know this last 2020, is that people are like they're like, oh yeah, if you vote for us, we'll do it. It's like, well, you didn't do it, like you haven't done it, and they still fucking voted anyway for Democrats. Like, all right, one more time.
Of course, just vote
this
harder.
time, but not again. And then also, like, New York wants to ban Glocks due to full auto switches because gun control doesn't work.
Mm-hmm.
Clearly, it's like you just need one more law. One more law.
One more law, bro. I promise. One more law, bro. Just one more law will fix it, bro. Please, bro. We have all these laws and they don't work, bro. But one more, bro.
It's not
just
as
one more.
though the patent on Glocks is up and there's literally like 4 or 5 duplicate, like parts interchangeable copies of those exact guns,
Including the glong.
I remember, I think it was like 2017. I brought up the fucking like the documents that where you can make your own submachine gun from literally just metal parts, like
It was
crude
like a
metal
10.
parts.
Yeah.
Yeah, like a crude like just typical parts. Some stuff you might have to like JB weld together, but you could make your own submachine gun.
Of course, yeah.
And some dudes like, oh, like we would just we would just ban the gun. I'm like, dude, like you don't understand. These are common parts. And he's like, well, no, we as a society could work together to ban these parts. I'm like, okay, you're literally not fucking grasping what I'm telling you. You would have to fucking ban
make
common
plumbing
parts.
illegal.
Exactly. I'm like, you have to make like common metal fucking components illegal, which makes the parts more expensive for the people that actually need them for other things and shit. And like he was not fucking getting it. It's like, I'm like, dude, look at the fucking parts list and come talk to me. But the dude was some like gay fucking lawyer in like Washington.
Oh, well, that's his problem. He's too busy taking
Well,
cocks
yeah,
in the
he's
asshole
never
in Seattle.
built anything in his life,
Yeah.
probably.
Yeah.
The
But
only
like,
thing
no,
he's built.
I was at the hardware store today, right? And I was like, yeah, man, you could make a fucking slam shotgun out of this shit
Yeah, dude.
if you really want to. Just a 1/2-inch bore.
Hell yeah.
What the fuck is it? Microplastics in the balls? Can men
Yeah,
everywhere do a
I was
plastic
looking this up
balls?
off of this comment, and the AI overview from Google says that synthetic textiles are the biggest source of microplastics.
Oh, like
Accounting
polyester
for-
being in like every fucking piece of clothing now? Yeah.
Yeah. 35% of total volume. Tires are the second leading source. City dust, which I don't know what they mean by city dust. But cigarette butts, fishing nets, ropes, road markings. So yeah, stop wearing polyester clothing.
Yeah, that shit's awful.
Unless it's legitimately like sports clothing, just stop wearing like polyester in general. Like wear cotton. My shirt right now is just 100%
Cotton is your
Wear
friend.
cotton. Linen,
Polyester
cotton.
will also like poison your hormonal system over enough time.
You already know I don't wear polyester.
Hell yeah.
I do wear it for
No
like,
microplastic
sports
in these
clothing,
balls.
but I like also keep it for like 10 years or more. I don't know. I wish I wish there's
Can
a
I-
better alternative to have like good waterproof clothing.
Yeah, that's
Speaking
true.
of bad clothing, do you guys want me to tell you how my wife outplayed me today?
Yes.
So my wife got a onesie for my daughter that in like some 70s hippie text on the back of the shirt says in my daddy's little girl era. And so I was like, it's like to flex on her that like our daughter is gonna love me more than her.
No.
I was like, it's gonna be a long era. She's like, it's okay, I can make it into a crop top. I'm like, why are you doing this to me? She's like, it'll be for her other daddy. I'm like, you're fucking awful.
Oh my god. Got him.
Outplayed.
Got him.
I hope she
Out
does
fucking
not
played.
eat those words.
I'm fucking
at
playing
some point.
checkers over here. Apparently, this bitch
She's
is playing
chess.
chess.
Yeah, you got outclassed, man.
Yeah. She's learned too much from me. This is the problem.
You'll have to be.
That's the problem. I'm gonna have to. That's why we got divorced.
Exactly. Yeah. That's why you're yelling in your kitchen alone.
Maybe 6 feet
Ain't so far down. Well, boys, anything else you want to cover tonight?
The job numbers are totally fucking cooked.
Oh, didn't like the chairman of like the Fed or the FEC like call out the White House for cooking the books on like job numbers or something recently?
Okay, my buddy had a wedding a couple weeks ago that I went to, and like it was my college buddies. Okay, like there's only like 15 of us there.
Yeah.
Okay, and 4 of them had lost their job in the last 2 weeks.
Shit.
And this is a very random sample. They're not all like the same major or field.
What
or
are
shit.
their
Like,
what are their fields respectively? Like if you know.
it was like construction management, counseling, like psychiatric or stuff like that, and then like academic advising, and then like what was the other one? What did they do? I gotta think about. They're legitimately all 4 in different fields.
Yeah.
Right. And they all 4 got laid off in the last like legitimately 2 weeks.
Damn.
It's like too late of notice to be like, oh, like last month I had a job and I'm going to this wedding, so I paid for everything. Versus like
Now I don't. I need my money back.
Yeah. So it's like too late to like not go to something. I mean, it wasn't an expensive wedding to attend, right?
Still though, that's not fun.
No, it not. Including, I should say, including the groom got laid off.
Whoa.
So,
well, you know what? But he's about to come in with some money.
Exactly. Yeah.
People actually still give wedding gifts, but yeah, but still, fuck, man, that sucks ass.
No, yeah, I mean, I don't want to. Did you guys watch Caleb Hammer on YouTube at all?
I do.
I sometimes link it in the cringe channel on our private Discord. You guys, have you ever given it a watch?
I don't think I have.
I've watched some Caleb Hammer stuff because of you. Yes.
Okay, so the main lesson, if you watch Caleb Hammer consistently every day, you will learn that poor people are poor because they're stupid. And they don't know how to spend money.
Of course.
And the opposite of that is like our feeling of like, oh, like if you pull yourself together and you're smart, like and don't fuck yourself over, you can do well in life, right? You will advance to the next step. Like Caleb Hammer's show is just consistently people who make horrible decisions on a day-to-day basis, on hour-to-hour, minute-to-minute basis. They make horrible decisions. And so like that's not these people. Like they're like smart people who make good decisions, who should be like solidly middle class. And like you're like, this economy is not working for them. This nation is systematically fucked over so many people. And like it's just about getting your foot in the door at the right time, like getting on the property ladder at the right time. Like Matt and I can probably relate to this situation. Maybe not Ben. Whereas like Ben, if you were looking at houses in your area, like I'm sure it's fucked, right? Like, and you should be, as like a person in your position, like if in the 50s, if I said, oh, there's a fucking jewelry store manager who's looking to purchase a home
I should
in
be
this
able
area,
to, right?
they 100% should be able to do that. And it's not possible at this point. It's because the economy is completely fucked. And they've cooked the numbers month after month. Like, even Chairman Powell of the Fed said, like, oh, like there's two, like, we have overestimated jobs, which is a way of saying, like, the Biden administration is cooking the numbers to say that unemployment is way higher, or sorry, way lower than it
actually
is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like we're going to see the economic data keep getting published over the next few months, and I think the veil has been largely dropped at this point, where they're like, oh shit, like we can't hide these numbers anymore about
They'll just not
unemployment.
talk about them. They'll be there.
They'll
They
just not.
won't- yeah.
Yeah, they might just not talk about them. But like, I think the average American knows that like we are
We're
in
in
a
trouble.
really sad,
Yeah.
hard spot right now. And it's not your fault out there. Like, you are not the problem. Like, the average person should be able to succeed in a successful society, in a society that actually cares about human flourishing.
And functions properly. Yeah.
Yep.
But we're not there, folks. We're in clown world.
World.
And with that, ladies and gentlemen, I believe that's going to do it for us tonight. This has been a very packed episode, I have to say. We didn't run out of anything to talk about at all. It was very good.
Yeah, we be having some things.
We be saying some stuff and some things. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you again for joining us. Thank you again for engaging in these topics with us. And, as always, taxation is theft.